It's time for you to disrupt roadblocks, get uplifted, and unlock your potential. This is the Wolf Leadership Podcast. And now, here's your host, Eric Bailey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 6 of The Den. And man, have we got a show for you. I've got my main man here, DK Darren Kelly from the 24-hour ME24 24-hour Fitness Center in Springfield. And we got some serious stuff we want to talk to. Now, listen, we're predominantly talking to all the men. If you're, say, between the ages of 40 and in the grave, this is for you. Now, if you're a female and you're married or you have a son who's, around 30 or 40 years of age, please share this because we're talking about some serious stuff. We're talking about prostate cancer. We're talking about mental wellness. We're talking about stress. We're talking about all the things that traditionally men don't want to talk about it. We run away, but not in this episode. And the reason why we're doing this is because over the past couple of weeks, I've come across a lot of men who have been asking me questions about, what can they do? Maybe their work, they're losing motivation, they're taking time off. So I thought I'd bring in the big guns. So today, we've got my main man, DK. How you doing?
I'm good, Eric. Thanks for having me.
Listen, man, it's a pleasure and a privilege to have you with us. So we're just going to jump right in it. So tell all our audiences just a little bit about who you are, your journey, and what your goal in this space is, particularly with men.
Sure. Well, I've been running a gym out in Springfield for 20 years called Maximum Effort Fitness Center, and that's where we got the me from. We shortened it down to me, and that's because we wanted to personalize on people in their own lives. And so over my life, when we first opened the gym, I was probably more a bodybuilder and I learned those sort of things. But as I've got older and I've dealt with more clients, especially men, we can see that the issues that we have, most men want to hold that in. And so over the years, we've developed ways to talk to guys, get them to talk to each other. Obviously, it's a lot better now for groups, for men to talk to each other. We concentrated on using the experience of life of the thousands of people who have been through the gym, on talking to men and hopefully making them feel a bit more confident about talking about their health issues.
If there is a man sitting anywhere in the world and they're watching this or even listening to this, what are some of the key takeaways that you feel that is going to come out of our conversation today, particularly to the men?
Communication is obviously the first one. Men traditionally, as you well know, and especially from our generation, guys don't talk. We hold it all in, pressure, turn to drugs, alcohol, or the worst things in life, bad food, and it just snowballs. And so once that sort of unhealthy life starts running, you're on a pretty steady slope down, and it can really weigh in you. And so when those health sort of things get to you, then your head gets to you. So people will get depressed, they worry about things worse. So then the more they worry about things, the more it piles on. So now they're talking less, they're eating worse, they're exercising worse, they don't sleep. And all these things just pile on to put a great weight on men's shoulders. And you just got to talk about it. Like find your buddy or find someone you don't know is what I like to say, because you can talk to people you don't know pretty easily. You can let it all out, talk to them, and then away you go. You never have to worry about that again. So for me, that's why I do some of the fitness adventures I like, longer walks or things over several days with people I don't know, because you can go out there, you can tell them anything. You're never going to see this guy again. And so try it that way first. But you've got close friends, or if you haven't got a close friend you feel like you can talk to, you should definitely talk to your doctor.
For all the ladies in the house,
yeah,
all the females that are out there, and maybe they've come across this video somehow or podcast, As a wife, as a mother, as a grandmother, how would you broach the subject to your husband or to your son, particularly around the areas of maybe you should look after your health more? How would you suggest the women who are listening to this, how would they talk to their loved ones about maybe going and getting some help or looking after themselves?
It's very difficult.
I know it is.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Because most guys, you don't want to take that advice. You think, I'm a man, I can do it. Everything's all right. I'm the provider. I do this, I do that. And so it is very difficult because women are generally more talkative and they have a bigger circle of friends and they'll chat. So I think for most ladies, just having that talk with their husband and getting it to the forefront of their mind, and then maybe having a chat to a couple of their friends quietly on the side, and just, it doesn't have to be crazy serious, but you just got to start talking about it and start to do things, introduce things into your life that are better for you. So as a family unit, sometimes, instead of going straight to taking them to McDonald's or a restaurant where you're going to eat some garbage, maybe you walk there first, have a little family walk or go to the park, do some nice things, get outside. And that's probably the best way of starting to introduce it. Something with a family unit where they can get all involved.
Okay, all right. So we've talked about the general theme of our conversation. Let's bring it back. So I know myself, as I was a professional athlete, and because I was a professional athlete, I took my health pretty seriously because it was my profession.
Yeah.
But what about those younger men out there who are not in that in the gym right now, or are professional athletes who don't actually look after their health the way they should? At what age does the body start to decline, and at what age does maybe a young man start thinking about, hey, you know what, I better make some life changes now?
Yeah, so it is a different thing for everyone at different stages of your life. When you're a younger man, you're in your teens and stuff like that, most guys come to the gym because they want to impress the girls. And it's flat out, that's all it is. They want to get bigger, they want to make sure the front side looks specky so when they go to the beach. And then their goals change as they get married. That first sort of full-time job, you get your girlfriend or your wife and you have kids. And so their health is no longer their top priority because they're focused on, buying a house, getting a better car, making sure my kids are okay. And then their own health drops off. Then we tend to get them back at the gym, that 45, 50 sort of mark, where they come back and say, whew, I've had this, I've had cancer, I've had depression, or I'm 30 kilos overweight. So then they come back and they change. Their focus is not so much on about what they look like, but what they can do, and can I play with my kids and my grandkids? And as we all get a bit older, your health becomes more of a priority because we see what's happened to our dads and stuff. And so medical science is keeping people alive a long time with crazy treatments, with tablets and this. And so people live a long life now, much longer than they used to, but the quality of life is terrible. And so what we try and do is introduce exercise and fun things to keep you consistently doing things. It's not how hard you work out and the things you do from day to day, but it's being consistent at doing one thing and enjoying that, whether that's in a group or you like to put your headphones on and get solo and do stuff. So, but yeah, just that generally, the different times in your life where your priorities take over, different priorities take over. When, from my point of view, your health should be your number one, because, if you're not fully healthy, if you're sick at some stage, you can't work, then the pressure goes on your rest of your family, you can't do this. So making sure that health is right up there at the top and looking after yourself will always make sort of life a little bit nicer for you. Yeah.
In a corporation or an organization, companies, what are your thoughts on the organization actually doing more in the education space with the male employees? What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think it's a thing of the future. For a long time, companies have just let people come to work and go home. But now they can see that if they can just do small things to improve the general health of their employees, their overall productivity is improved. There's a thing called presenteeism, where people come to work when they're not 100%. So whether, something little might be you suffer a migraine or sinus or something little like that, where you come to work, but because of these little things, that's stopping you work to your full potential. Like I've been to work with headaches and sickness, and up to a third of productivity is lost through this thing called presenteeism, where you're not quite yourself. So if organizations or businesses can help their employees just learn to live generally healthier lives, the productivity comes back. And so you lose the things where people are having extra days off because of little things that probably aren't so serious, and then they're enjoying their time at work, and it just works all around for everyone.
Yeah. A few years ago, I had a cancer scare. And in full transparency, one of the things that you mentioned before was that I didn't want to talk about what I was going through.
Yeah.
And I just was in denial. It couldn't be me.
Yeah.
But finally, it got to the point where I actually, mentally, I was stressed over it. Physically, I felt as if, I wasn't myself. And I went in and got the dreaded, colonoscopy.
Yeah, right.
Something that I should have done probably years ago. Thank God I was okay.
Yeah.
But it was a wake-up call.
Yeah.
For men that are sitting out there who are, maybe in denial about going in and, maybe feeling like, I'm strong, I don't need to do that.
Yep.
Can you take us through maybe some of the early warning signs of maybe, yes, you need to go and get checked out, and don't just sit on it and think, it's just going to go away?
Sure. So depending on the illnesses we're talking about, and since we're talking about men, I guess prostate cancer is one of the main ones, one of the big killers for men. The early signs normally are pain, so whether it's pain or, from trying to go to the bathroom, or whether you can't stop or start to go to the bathroom, or blood in your urine, and there's many little signs. As soon as you start to experience those, don't hang on. Do not hang on. There's a very good story from where I live. There was a small butcher shop called Two Butchers. Right?
Yeah.
So one of the guys, Steve, that run that, he was the front of the place. Lovely man, was busy every day, and he suffered through 2.5 years of extreme pain, and he had bowel cancer, okay? So he didn't want to go to the doctor because he just started this business, it was going great, and he's thinking, he used to push the candle at both ends, right? Burn the candle at both ends. So he'd be at the shop all day, and then he'd like to go out, and he was a very social person. He'd have a few drinks and stuff like that. And so he just thought it was because he was pushing it, that he felt like this and bad in the stomach. Unfortunately, the story ends very badly. He went, found out he was stage 4, and so he passed away in a very short time, which was a very big shock to our community out that way, because he was a lovely guy, was involved every day. But it just goes to show you, if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not. And what does it hurt to go get checked out? If you go to your doctor, he says, no, mate, you're fine. You're fine, happy days, celebrate, go on. But if it's not, the consequences, Steve had a very young family, and he thought he was doing the right thing by trying to earn more money and stay at work and do all. But now, his kids are never going to have him in his life. His wife, all that sort of stuff. It's a terrible thing, but you just got to go and make the effort. And that's easy to say because I'm the same, brother. I'm the same as you. Yep. We've all done it. You're a man. It's like, that hurts a bit. I'll be fine. And then it's not fine. And so you go, and is it too late or whatever? So luckily for me as well, I received the bowel screen thing at 50, you should do it. I think I didn't do mine until I was about 53.
Wow. So
I waited 3 years with my wife telling me, I can't fine, I don't feel anything. It doesn't matter if you don't feel anything. They don't send you that for funsies.
Yeah.
Go do it. And so eventually I went and done it. The doctor goes, you're all clear. Why didn't I do that 3 years earlier? Stop putting the stress on my wife, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it is. It's one of those things. We talk about this stuff all the time because we live it, but I still do it, So it's a difficult thing for guys. So you just got to try and get on the front foot and play a bit offense.
So when we're talking about the signs of having prostate cancer, I just want to pivot. What are some of the other sort of illnesses or challenges that men, say in their 40s and their 50s, start getting, whether it's heart disease or diabetes, those type of things?
Yeah, you mentioned 2 of the big ones, right? So most guys, 40, 50, they start to put on a little bit of weight. Their sporting days are behind them. They do a little bit less. So problems like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart conditions of all different sorts. Most of those, if you catch them early enough, they can do something about it. And for us, we can do simple things about it from a lot earlier in life, just by simply living a simpler life, really, just by doing some exercise and eating slightly better for you. It doesn't have to be ridiculous. You don't have to eat like a bodybuilder who wants to be 5%, or you don't got to eat like a basketballer or anything. Just live simpler lives, basically, Just get up, enjoy some exercise, get out in the sun, have a walk, play with the kids, happy days.
Are there any particular foods that one can start to put in their diet that's going to, I can never say, stop or minimize, but maybe reduce the higher chances of prostate cancer or diabetes or heart condition or high blood pressure?
Of course, so most of these come back to nutrition.
Yeah.
Okay, and like you say, there's no magic bullet.
Yeah.
For some people, when your time comes, your time comes. So, but I think mainly what you're talking about here is antioxidants and things like that. So, antioxidants are things like blueberries, apples, broccoli. There's a bit in lentils. So all these things just give you some nutrients that will really help the body turn the corner a little bit. But we just want to be eating simply, not too many processed foods, and learn to cook for yourself. It's one of the basic things we can do, and know what you're putting in your body. Like if you're a car mechanic, you want to know everything that goes in your nice Ferrari, right? Like you've got that beautiful Ferrari, it's got the big motor. We want to do that. We want to know what's going into it. There's nothing more important than the motor inside you, and yet we never know what we're putting into us. Like half the ingredients in processed foods now, I can't even pronounce them.
Yeah.
And so if I can't pronounce it, I'm not eating it. So same for skin creams and things like that. Why would you put that on your body? So for me, as I've got older, I've realised these things. For me, I just try and live a little bit simpler and a little bit more holistic, I guess.
Yeah. So you've been doing this for how many years? How many?
Well, 20 years I've owned the gym, but I've been in gyms all my life since I was 14.
Okay. Since you've been in gyms and working on the transformation of people, men and women, what are some of the your biggest transformations? What have you seen that's actually possible from someone who gathers the information, digests the information, and then goes out and executes? Yeah.
So most people, when you ask me this question, only want to know about weight loss, okay?
Right.
Because that's the big one everyone wants to know.
Yeah.
So we've had clients lose 90 kilos over a couple of years and managed to keep it off. But for me personally, I have a couple of favourite stories that I like to tell. They all involve slightly older guys.
Yeah.
At the moment, we have two older guys that come in the morning. I hope they don't mind me mentioning their names. Alan and Gary, good on you boys.
Yeah.
And so they didn't start coming to the gym until they'd retired. Alan ran a successful engineering business, and Gary was on the board for Catholic schools in Queensland. And so they're both fairly successful men in their own rights, but they did not start exercising till they retired because they had just been through heart attacks, different forms of cancer, blood pressure, diabetes. Both of them have some serious illness conditions. But now that they've been coming to the gym for about 12 years now, I think, together. They met at the gym. They come every day, 7 o'clock together. They meet there. They work out. Those boys now are healthier than when they were 50. Like when they come in, they've been to the doctor, and even though they've had some smaller issues, continuing issues from these conditions, they come in and it's like, mate, doctor said I'm better than when I was 50. I can run on the treadmill. These guys are 75. I have another elderly gentleman, Ian, who used to be in the army, and he's just turned 70. He knocked out 10K run last weekend. He's doing a defence fitness challenge with us at the moment, which is a little thing. Mate, he knocked out 25 good push-ups. He's lifting good weight. He's 70 years old. These are the things that are still possible if you want to. Now, you don't have to push that hard. These guys have got some motivation behind them, especially military guys. Old military guys are a bit hard, So, but they've gone from not being able to do anything to really impressive things over a reasonable period of time, So it's possible for everyone to be better than you ever were before. Maybe not for you, or those top athletes, but just for general people. We can be better than we've ever been before at crazy late ages.
So imagine if those two gentlemen that you were speaking about, where would they be now?
Well, they would be miles in front, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Right. So the point of this conversation is we're trying to shape a paradigm in our mindset about, for men, really understanding that, whether you're 30, whether you're 40, whether you're 50, if you just start to make those improvements, and just get serious, when you get to be 60 or 70, you would be have more youthful, have more energy, have more mental clarity.
Exactly. We all know people. You've seen that little old man or that little old lady walking up the street that's hunched over and very thin or extremely overweight, and they have all those issues, terrible lives. You can prevent all that now by simple things, just trying to eat slightly better, and just, even if it's going out and having to walk each day, playing with your kids or your grandkids. The guys that I'm talking about, they are so appreciative of the lives they can lead now because they spend time with their families, If you ask a professional bodybuilder today or someone who's highly interested in sport, they are only aimed at one thing, being the best they can be. But you talk to them, like yourself, as you get a bit older and you get past that, what's important to you? What's important to you are the simple things, living a nice life and spending time with the family or your loved ones, You don't remember, most of us don't remember back to when you were 19 and, you were 10% body fat or, you could triple deadlift your own body weight, or if you could do a tomahawk or whatever it is, you do the leaner, whatever. Maybe if you did the leaner in the squad, I'd be happy with that too.
I remember that, yeah.
I'd be happy with that too. But like the simple things, that's what it's all about. You remember the times you spend with your family. You don't remember the times that you had to go to a barbecue with your tuna, broccoli and brown rice and not be involved with people because, hey, I'm on a diet, I want to do this. The things you remember are that time spent with people, and that's what's crucial to you, So whether that's in your work life and you want to enjoy your work life or that all-important family life,
If there was a CEO, a sales manager, someone in the private sector who's working, 60, 70 hours a week, just really doing it tough, mental stress, what advice would you give that particular individual right now?
Oh, good luck.
Just spit it out, man.
Well, I'm sure you've been in this position as well. When I first started the gym, I used to do 60 or 70 hours a week, sometimes more, and I thought the more I was there, the more it would work. But the braver I got and the more trust I put in the people around me and the more time I spent away from the business, the better it got. Because I was trying to micromanage, and my own health. Like I'm in the health industry, and I'm trying to tell people do this, and then I'm going back and working, 70 hours, not sleeping. I started to drink Coke. I've never drunk Coke in my life, and I was drinking lots of Coke to keep me awake, keep me going. Started putting on weight, and I had to step back, have a look what's going on here. And so as I sort of got my own life back in track, I found the importance of trusting those people around me and preaching what I live, just living a simpler life and enjoying it. And so now I can walk away, trust the people around you. If you got to that point where you have that business and you've got good employees, you've got to trust them. Yeah. And so once you can trust other people, you trust yourself, I think. Yeah. And trust in yourself is the most important thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned something about drinking Coke.
Yeah.
I do notice in a lot of the corporate settings that we go to, there's a lot of, Pepsi, Coke, a little bit of Mountain Dew, a little bit of Sprite. There's also, your mother's drinks and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Just give us an overview of the damage that sugar does, not just to the body, but also the energy levels that hit you, say after 12 or 1 o'clock. Particularly if you're an accountant, you're doing the numbers game, or you're in the heavy machinery. How important is it to not have that sugar drop when you have a team of people relying on you and numbers as well?
Yeah. So. For some reason, over the last 20 years or something, as people get tired, they think, man, I'll hit myself with a Coke or a Mountain Dew or one of those energy drinks. Yeah. Have a look at how much caffeine and how much sugar in them all. It's off the chart. I think Mother and those sort of things. That's, I think they were worth about 7 cups of coffee or something like that off the top of my head. Yeah. But it's funny you should bring this up. Okay. I know we didn't talk about this, but I just read about this recently. Right. There was a big study done. I think it was Harvard, but they found that chewing gum will give you a better effect than having sugar. So like if you're starting to get tired, so if you have that big sugar rush early, when you get the big spike, we get a big drop off and everyone feels tired at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Chewing gum apparently makes you use both sides of your brain. Wow. And keeps you more awake and more alert than, eating chocolate fudge by the pound. They tested it against several things and chewing gum come out number one.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
That's
crazy,
amazing.
right?
Yeah.
So
Tell me the difference between sugar-free, diet, diet cola,
Yeah.
or having the real thing.
So we should put one thing out there. All the diet sort of things, the latest sort of research suggests that there's been a bit of a thing saying that diet drinks and anything will make you fat because it does something to your brain. It turns on the senses because it still tastes sweet. That's not true. I think all the full studies will tell you, if you don't pick lines out of it here, that they're all about the same. The long-term effects of some of those big things you can't pronounce that go into them, I'm not sure. But in Australia, I'm pretty sure we still use cane sugar in our drinks, whereas in the States and around the world, they use fructose. Not fructose, corn syrup. And corn syrup has a slightly more drastic effect on the body than cane sugar. But still, cane sugar, I think, in Coke, is it 7 or 8 teaspoons of sugar in a can? And so, you start drinking big bottles with all that caffeine, you get the big hit, you get a big down, you have another one. Yeah, it's a vicious circle.
Yeah.
Water, green tea. Actually, black coffee, a couple of black coffees, pretty good for you.
Right.
2 or 3 a day.
How important is it for a man to have regular checkups with their GP and also check in with a psychologist or someone who can help them with their moods or anxiety or depression?
It's very important, mate. As you know, we already don't communicate enough. So if you are one of those guys who can't talk to one of your friends or something like that, you need to be able to talk to your doctor. Your general GP, they know a little bit about a lot of things, and so they will get you in contact with the right person. So if you are having mental health issues or you're feeling not quite right in yourself, go to your doctor and just have a chat to them. They will get you in contact with the right people. You got to talk to people. Don't hold it in and wait till it's too late or it's so severe that it's really put you on the back foot.
Right.
It's super important. It's the most important.
Yeah. So when we look at DK, Darren Kelly, the life trajectory of sort of where you are right now, what's on the horizon? What are some of your personal goals? What do you see sort of evolving in your life, say the next 10 to 15 years?
Well, probably in the next short-term things. Personally, a couple of things I want to do. I'm looking at going back to the overland track at the end of this year. I walked the overland track in Tasmania last year with a group of people. Let's just say the weather was less than perfect.
Yes.
So we had some sideways rain and a little bit of ice. So I want to go back there this year. I'm also taking a group, hopefully, to Kokoda next year, up to New Guinea. We've had that planned for a couple of years, but COVID put us off. Personally, I like high stuff. So I want to do one more mountain. I think I'm going to do Kilimanjaro. I don't do the really crazy mountain climbers type stuff, but I like seeing how we can push. And so, Kilimanjaro is on my list. There's one in South America called Aconcagua, which is very high, but I don't know if my wife will let me do that one.
Okay, right.
So, personally, that's kind of where I'm at. That's the things I like to do now, those long-distance trekking things. Business-wise, we're just making sure that we do what we do day to day. We try and look after people, improve their general health by showing them exercise shouldn't be a chore, and it doesn't necessarily need to be super hard. What you need to be is consistent with it.
Yeah.
If you can be consistent with it, you're going to get all the benefits. All the benefits, enjoyment out of doing things, seeing yourself slowly get better, and it's the surprise things. A couple of guys that have been to the gym lately, lost a bit of weight. They make me laugh. They're like, man, I could put my shoes on without holding my breath. It's those little things.
Yeah.
I took the stairs and I was okay. I went and played golf, but I didn't get the buggy. I walked it around and was okay. Those day-to-day little things, they're the winners. That's the winners.
Yeah. Well, that's what we're all about. We're all about educating our audiences.
Exactly.
We're all about, empowering our audiences to make better decisions in life. And I want to thank you so much for dropping by. Let our audience know that Darren Kelly is actually a Wolf Leadership Facilitator, and he does have workshops and coaching around all things dealing with men's health. And so if anyone would like to get in contact with you, what do they need to do?
Well, they could see me through Wolf Leadership at Darren at wolfleadership.com. or they can come and see me out at Maximum Effort Fitness Center or Me Fitness at Springfield. But even if they drop you a line, Eric, I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Happy to come out and see you if you want to have a chat in person. The main thing for me is just get out and do something. Do something you enjoy, whether that's play golf with your friends or go for a walk the dog. Live a good life, live a simple life. Enjoy your friends, read a good book, get out in the sun, have some fun. It doesn't have to be all serious and be the best you can be. If you're going to be the best you can be from people like me and normal folks, not super serious athletes, it's just about having a good time and enjoying that quality of life.
Okay, well, thanks, Darren. This is Eric Bailey from The Den at Wolf Leadership. Like us, follow us, subscribe us, leave us some comments. All information about what Wolf Leadership is in the description. We thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Peace, and we're out.
Thank you for listening to the Wolf Leadership Podcast. Be sure to rate and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. If you're looking to take your leadership to the next level, hit us directly at inquire@wolfleadership.com.au or call 1-300-870-002. You can also check out our website at wolfleadership.com.au and follow us on Instagram at wolf.leadership. We'll see you here next time.